Welcome back to Question Period. Before the break, we brought you part one of our conversation with Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre. Here's part two. Why should Canadians watching right now treat you as an authority on the subject when for so many months, just on the economy more largely, you told them that if the carbon tax was gone, food prices would go down? The carbon tax has been gone since April the 1st, and food prices continue to rise.
Well, first of all, I was right about the carbon tax. Everyone now agrees after demonizing me for so long that I was right about the carbon tax, and imitation is the highest form of flattery. But you know what I have to say is even more incredible is that Carney has been able to over his increased government spending, which is staggering. He's doubled the deficit in 6 months, has flooded our economy with printed cash, which is ultimately causing inflation. Now, it is true that the CPI is lower than it would otherwise be, and everyone agrees, all the economists, I think even the Bank of Canada, that that is because of the carbon tax. You're welcome. But when you flood the economy with hundreds of billions of dollars of extra printed money, as Mr. Carney is doing, you cause inflation in every other area of life. And what really worries me is that once the carbon tax elimination rolls off the monthly inflation measurement early next year, we're going to see really high rates of inflation. We're already seeing it in the core readings. We're already seeing it in the food prices that are rising 70% faster than the Bank of Canada's target, with 4 million visits to Toronto food banks. Mark Carney is doing the Justin Trudeau inflationary spending on steroids, and I'm very concerned this is going to cause serious human suffering.
But the statistics around inflation show that even food inflation from the first month after the carbon tax was cut outpaced regular inflation. The promise you specifically and your colleagues made to Canadians was food prices would go down if the carbon tax is eliminated. That didn't happen. Why should you be treated as an authority more largely on what the government should do on the economy?
Well, I'll tell you why I should be treated as an authority on this one, Vashi, is because I said that Carney would only suspend the carbon tax before the election and then bring in a new one after the election, and that's what he's doing. The fuel standard, the Canadian fuel standard, that he's bringing in.
That was in existence already.
But it's rising every year, and it is going to get to 17 cents a litre. According to the parliamentary budget officer, what was the old carbon tax? 17 cents a litre. So just as I predicted that he would bring back a carbon tax, he is doing that. And we don't know yet exactly what the impacts will be on food prices, but we can be sure it's a lot. Because whenever you raise fuel prices... But what you said
didn't happen. I have to respectfully challenge you. I take what you're saying about the clean fuel standards, okay? But you didn't say, oh, but there will be the clean fuel... You said, if the carbon tax is gone, food prices are down.
But he's brought in a new carbon tax.
But he didn't. It was already in place. That policy set existed when you were making those comments.
Right, and it's growing. And it's hard to keep track of all the liberal taxes. There's so many of them. It's like, which one are we talking about? But this is another 17 cent a litre tax. And as I said, whatever benefit that Canadians got from the elimination of the carbon tax, Mr. Carney has obviated, he has nullified with massive new money printing deficits that are even worse than the ones that Trudeau left behind.
Is there no way in the world to justify any of the extra money that he is essentially dealing with? And I'll tell you how he framed his own comment last week about a more substantial deficit, I think is what he said. Increased costs to deal with the economic impact, like supports for people and sectors that have been very hard hit. I think we can agree, like, the tariffs are out of his control, I mean, to the degree that the president had decided the level of them. And the second impact is just simply from the tariffs themselves and the compressive factor that has on revenues for the government. Like, wouldn't you be dealing with the exact same situation?
Very differently. So why would the trade dispute have required he increase spending on consultants by 37%? We're now, this Liberal government under Mark Carney is spending the equivalent of $1,400 per Canadian family on consultants. That's more than a 100% increase. He said he'd spend less on bureaucracy. The cost of the bureaucracy is up 6% year over year. He's adding more bureaucrats. He's increasing foreign aid, sending our money out of our country at a time when we don't have enough here at home. He's giving more money to fraudulent refugee claims and corporate welfare. None of those things were imposed on him by decision by a foreign leader. These are decisions he made at home. They would have been irresponsible had there been no trade dispute. They're even more reckless now because we can least afford to waste money when we're confronting a serious dispute with our biggest trading partner.
He has intimated that there will be some sort of adjustment to the public service. To be fair, during your campaign, you also said there would be cuts, but didn't detail to what degree they would come. How much should the federal government cut the public service, to be exact?
There needs to be billions of dollars of reductions in the federal bureaucracy, and we need to cut the consultants in half. So he should cut the budget for consultants by at least $12 billion.
And what about the budget for public service workers, which right now is at $71.5 billion?
Well, we should reverse the cost of the bureaucracy back at least 5 years to the pre-COVID era. I mean, how is it that we were able to deliver all these services 5 years ago with 40%, 30% less bureaucrats and less bureaucratic spending? We don't need more bureaucracy. We need to leave money in the pockets of entrepreneurs and workers who will generate the real growth for our country.
What do you say to people who hold those jobs, many of whom used to be in your old riding, who will be a factor in the new unemployment rate, who have to look at their families when losing their jobs and figure out a way to support them?
It's very difficult, and of course right now the reality is that we're in a liberal jobs crisis. The unemployment rate is skyrocketing. Since Mr. Carney became Prime Minister, 86,000 people have lost their jobs. The answer to that, though, surely cannot be to build the bureaucracy. I mean, if a bigger bureaucracy was going to make for a good job market, then we'd have the best job market in the world, because Liberals have done nothing but spend on bureaucracy and government consultants. What we need is private sector employment. We need businesses to hire more people, giving them paychecks, producing things, goods and services that the country needs. And unfortunately, that's going to be tough. I made the decision to be honest about people during the election. Mr. Carney once again pulled a bait and switch.
Well, to be fair, you just said that there'd be cuts. You didn't detail the degree to which you would.
We did actually. I don't have my platform in front of me, but we did have the dollar figures that we plan to save. I think it was
$56 billion
right.
is what your total was, but you didn't break that down.
We did break it down by public service, consultants,
so how many thousands of Canadians should lose their job in the public service?
Hundreds of thousands of Canadians should gain their jobs, and that's what we will do when we get rid of the capital gains tax on businesses that reinvest in this country. When we cut taxes on workers, they spend more at local restaurants. When we approve more projects free in the resource sector, all of those welders, pipe fitters, carpenters, though not only employ themselves, but then they go and spend at local hotels and restaurants, creating even more jobs. I'm proposing a boom in job creation. That is what our Conservative plan is, and we encourage the Liberals to adopt it.
And I take your point on all that, and with respect, my question was how many public servants should lose their jobs, not how many private sector jobs should be created.
Well, it's a combination of the two, and you know, we still have some time before the next election when you'll see our platform.
Well, maybe. You never know.
You never know.
It's a minority.
I'm better at predicting the past than the future, but I appreciate your impatience. You're asking the right questions, and I can tell you you'll have the right answers before you go voting in the next election. Our job right now as official opposition is to signal the direction, which is we need less money for bureaucracy and more money for taxpayers and job creators.
One more question, if you permit me, on another vote that you're going to face, and that's the leadership review in January. Do you have a magic number?
No, I don't believe in magic.
Do you have a number at which you think you need in order to remain as leader?
I don't know.
Why not?
I'll be working to win over the people of the Conservative Party who will be there, and our message will be that I'm the leader that will bring forward the Canada that will restore the promise of the country, where hard work gets you a great life, an affordable life, a safe life under our proud flag. And you know, the magic number will be when we win the next election, which we will.
Should I take anything, though, away from the fact that you don't want to put a number on it, as far as a lack of confidence that you'll be able to secure the full support of your party?
No.
Then why won't you put a number on it?
Because the people will decide, and then you'll see the number.
Okay, I will wait for that.
All right.
Mr. Poilievre, I'll leave it there. I appreciate your time.
Lots of anticipation I've left you with.
No, very much. Edge of my seat.
Great
Thanks a lot, sir.
Thanks for having me.